Hello all, welcome back to my channel. This is a third video in this playlist. So in this video, let's take a look at how we can split the data. Why we have to split our data set. Let's assume that you have a data of 1,000 records, data set of 1,000 rows, and out of 1,000 rows, if you train your entire model with 1,000 rows, so then how you can test your model, how you can test how well it is predicting the predictions, right? So for that, what we can do, I mean, this is not that you have to do in your production data set. So this is only for when you are learning this one, like how you can train the data and how you can test the ML model. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to split first the entire data set into X and Y. So what is our data set? We have features and we have columns. So I'm going to split into X and Y. And again, after that, out of 1,000 rows, I will split 800 for the training purpose, and rest 200 I will use for the testing purpose. Okay, let's quickly jump into the coding part and let's work on that. Okay, guys, one more thing. I mean, ladies and gentlemen. So all of my playlist is all about the coding. So more than the theoretical part, I would like to focus on the coding part. So by doing the coding, I would like you guys to understand more about the concepts. Okay, let's deep dive into the coding part. If in case if you have not watched my previous videos, please do watch because it's a continuation to the previous ones. Okay, so let's how we can look at df.head. So now we can see all of our data set here, right? And now what I wanted to do, so let's see how many features are there and how many columns are there. So features, so what are the features here? So anything excluding other than excluding a tag, the label, which is the feature. What is the feature? All the columns in the machine learning world, all the input columns we call it as features, and labels is the output column. Okay, so here the output column is the target, what we are trying to predict. If I give a data like this randomly, I wanted to predict whether the person will have heart disease or not, right? So now I'm going to consider all the features as X and the output target as Y. Okay, okay, let's do this one. So for all the features, I would like to represent with capital X, and for all the labels, I'm going to represent with small y. And if you have a question like why, how to use the capital X and why can't I use the small x, I mean, again, you can use that, but to represent the features and the labels or the input columns and the output column, I preferably prefer capital X, and even the data science communities and the machine learning communities also prefer the same way. So let's follow the standardized way. So capital X is equal to, so I wanted all of these columns except this column. So I can, what I can do, df dot drop. I would like to drop this one, columns is equal to target axis. Axis is equal to one, like axis me one means column wise. Axis is equal to zero means row wise, column wise. Okay, y is equal to, I only want this target one, df of target. Okay, let's execute this one. Now let's see the first two rows of x, like this. You can see it has all the columns except target. And let's take a look at y of this. Okay, it has only target. If in case if you want to see what is the type of x, you can do the type of x. So this is a pandas code data frame only. And the type of df, if you want to see type of df, it is also a pandas code data frame. So it is a pandas data frame. So this type is very much important. Sometimes you have this numpy arrays as well. Okay, so now we have x and we have x and y. Okay, so now let's split the data into training and testing data, like how I shown over here. Training data 800 rows, testing data 200 rows. So there are many formats, many ways that how you can split the data, but I prefer to use one of the libraries. So from sklearn dot model selection, import train test split. Okay, and also okay, let it be. So how we can do x train, x test, y train, y test. So what is this one? X train means the training data, and here is a y train means the training data. X test, y test. So is equal to train, test, split. What we need, x values, y values, and test size is equal to zero point 0.2. So zero point 0.2 represents here. So out of, if I have a data set of 1,000 rows, I'm representing, I'm telling here that I wanted the test data set to be like 0.2 percentage of total 100 percentage. So which means that if there are like 1,000 records, 200 records will be assigned to the test data, and rest everything for the training data, right? And let's run this one, and this is like done. Let's look at the shape x I train dot shape. This is very much important, guys. So sometimes, I mean, this value should match 822 rows, 13 columns, and by train it has only labels 820. So sometimes, if in case if this is not matching, so then you have to recheck this code, the syntax and everything. So x test, the test data, y test dot shape. So here you can see 205, 13, 205. This is like totally fine. But now I split the data, and it split the data randomly, right? Now, whatever the data that I split, when I run this one, so for example, let's say I have got values like 1, 2, 3, and when you are splitting, you may get like 1, 3, 4. So basically, it splits randomly the data to have that randomness in the data. But how we can ensure that we both have the same data, so that when we both are running, we both will get the same accuracy. I mean, you and me, right? So there is another way. So the same one from sklearn, I'm doing it again. Dot model selection. You don't have to import the library again. I'm writing it for you. Import train test split. Let's import this numpy array. Okay. So this is like one way, 42. So here 42, why I have to pass 42? I can pass any number. You can pass 1,000 or 2,000 or 1 or 0 or 1,000. If I'm passing 42, and if you're also passing 42, when the split happens, the same data, I mean, the split happens same for you and for me, right? If in case, if I do 100 and if you also put 100, that is totally fine. So again, it's up to you, whatever the number you pass here. And again, this is an optional one. So x train, x test, y train, y test is equal to train test split x y. I want my test size to be 20%, so 0.2. Cool, right? So you can run this one. And now, if you want to see the extrain data, you can do like this. So you can see the extrain data. And what is the type of extrain? Let's quickly take a look at it. Is a pandas only. Okay. And now, and also we have some other options as well here. I'm copying the same code here and passing here. Instead of passing over here, what you can do, you can mention like random state is equal to 42. So you can skip this one and you can use this one. So some people they prefer to have here, and some people they prefer to have here. Why I'm keeping it here? So I'm training you guys. It's not just only for the scikit-learn, it's also for the TensorFlow, which I'm going to talk in the future. So for that, we always use here, but it's always good to know that we can also use here. And so there is one more called stratify is equal to, for this only for the classification models, like where your output is like 0, 1, or like A, B, or something, S or no, something like that. So what this does here, stratify is equal to y label I have given, so that it splits the data it equally. For example, now let's assume that we have thousand rows data set, right? Now we split extrain data 800, 800. um, Now x test 800, right? And now y train, sorry, x test 200, y train 800, y test 800, 200, right? So this is how we split the data. Now, for example, let's not talk about x test. Okay. So now out this 800, when you pass stratify is equal to y, so we have output labels zeros, 0 and 1, right? So it try to get balanced one. So for example, it tries to get 400 rows of 0 zeros and 400 rows of ones. So this is how it splits the data. So you have a balanced data set. So you have 400 equal number of zeros and equal number of ones for the data to train. So what I prefer, I always prefer to go with this one. So take a snapshot of these guys, or like, if you're practicing in parallel, just do remember that this is the preferred way of um, splitting the data. And different people use different approaches, like using many methodologies, but you try to prefer this one. Thank you for watching this video.